Yo, okay, so I figured it would be a good idea. I know that you said you don't like building, but you should at least understand the basics for team play, if not for yourself, okay? So, I don't exactly remember everything I want to remember about this server, but that's not an issue. So, what I'm going to do here is build a very, very, very basic starter base. Okay, this is a 2 by 1. 2 squares by 1 square length. Okay, that's a simple 2 by 1. Now this triangle here is for the airlock, which I've explained before, but I'll do so again. So I'm gonna wall this off, and I'm gonna have 2 doorways. Okay. Now how an airlock works depends on which way your doors swing. Okay. So I'm gonna go into items, construction, give myself 2 basic doors. Okay. Now you see, depending on which way I angle this, the handle is either this way or this way, and you can tell this is the back of the door. This is the front of the door, okay? So I'll do this here. I want the door to swing outwards this way and inwards this way, okay? Now what this means is, say, you finish doing whatever you're doing inside, you're ready to leave, you go to leave, you check and see who's out there, boom, somebody's door camping you, right? Let's see, weapon, this, why not? Okay, boom, somebody's door camping you, right? Boom, 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 boom. Now you die, right here, okay? They might be able to loot your body, but as far as getting inside of your base, they can't get in because of the way that these doors are. Or, say somebody's following you, right? So you go, you check, you don't see them because they're hiding around here or something like that. You open the door, jump up, and they're over here, but you don't know that, right? You open this door, now they have access to your entire base, okay? Boom, 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 they kill you, you die right here. Say they take over all your shit, right? The only way for them to leave, they have to have enough resources to blow through a wall at this point, because they cannot leave because they can't open your doors. Now this only works if your doors are locked, which at the moment mine are not. This is why doors and this triangle are so very important. So whether you're building or not, you need to know this for team play. Okay, the way doors work, why you always want to keep them closed, and if you do have to open them, make sure that you open them the right way and that you're aware of your surroundings. Now, let's get back to it. Next step, upgrading. Okay, so you can see here, this is wood, this is stone, okay? Now, you can tell this is the soft side. This is the hard side. If this side were ever facing you, if you see this, then you know you've done something horribly wrong. It's way easier to break a wall from the soft side is what I'm trying to say, okay? So you always want to make sure that your walls are facing the right way when you're building. Or say somebody's building and you notice, hey, you've got a hard side facing the wrong way. They can be like, oh shit, you're right, my bad, thanks fam. Okay, now you see the stability here, 87%, don't worry about that, but the 250 is the health of this thing. You see this is 500. It is always twice as hard to break the next tier up. So, let's see, how do I, alright, I don't remember how to destroy something the simple way, but either way, this is 250. Yeah, I still have a twig wall. This is 10, okay? It is insanely easy to break twig, so you always want to upgrade at least to wood. That way people have to get flamethrowers or something else that's primitive in order to break a wall, okay? So 250, 500, 1000, 2000, okay? So keep in mind that the higher you go, the harder it is to get in, alright? Wish I remembered how to break stuff, but I don't. So I will be right back. Okay, boom, got it. Nice. Put the walls back. Now, let's finish with this 2x1, okay? If you ever, because you don't like building, you don't need to worry about building the complex structures that you might see other people build, okay? Simple works. You just need something that's safe, keeps your stuff safe, and it fucking works, right? This'll do it. 2 squares by 1 triangle is plenty for a starter base, or if you want to run that through the whole wipe, if you're building for yourself, this is plenty. Now, I'm going to teach you more about defense, okay? So, the thing about raiding, okay, it's like this. Say somebody comes at you with a tool 2C4, okay? You know what, let me go ahead and do this first. Another big thing that you have to keep in mind is if you do not have a tool cupboard or TC, your base will decay over time, okay? What that means is this might say 500 now, come back in 3 hours, and it'll have less HP because it's decaying. You can see that as well here. In the bottom right hand corner by the hammer, it says building decaying. If I go here, it says your base is not protected and is decaying. Cost per hour, this many resources, okay? Because I have wooden doors and stone walls and floors and stuff, okay? If I was to upgrade something to sheet metal, now I need metal frags. HQM, now I need HQM, okay? So you have to keep that in mind. So if you know you're going to be gone for like 3 days or something like that for work or break or whatever, just make sure if you plan to come back that you have enough resources to cover that period of time that you'll be gone. Otherwise you'll come back and your shit will be decayed, whether you get raided or not. Okay? Past that, before I forget, make sure that you lock your shit. Okay? This applies for whether you're the builder or not. If you notice that somebody's like, okay, we're ready to go, and there's not a lock, be like, hey, I don't think you locked this. Now, the thing about key locks is they're not great for team play because the only way that somebody else that's not the builder can get in is if they have a key. You would have to hold E as the builder and make a key. Then you would give it to your teammates, but the problem is it takes up an inventory slot and you have to keep it on you, otherwise you cannot get into whatever's locked. That's why code locks are a thing. That eliminates that issue, but it costs metal frags to make them, so keep that in mind. If you're playing solo, key locks are just fine. They only cost a little bit of wood, and you're good to go. Okay, now back to what I was saying. Say you're dealing with a raider, right? Two C4, and they're in, okay? Now the thing about getting raided is if a wall is damaged or blown by an enemy, you cannot repair it or replace it until a time penalty is passed, okay? Once that penalty passes, now say, you know, you're here, this wall gets blown out, you don't want to die, you can barricade yourself in this way, right? So that way you have access to the door. This gives you a fighting chance. Now how do you eliminate this issue, right? This is what's called honeycombing, okay? So if I do this, upgrade all this. Now you see that there's walls on either side protecting this wall here, okay? As you saw, it cost 2C4. That means it would cost 2C4 to get through this wall, and then 2 more C4 to now get through this wall. This is what is honeycombing. The other thing that's great about honeycombing is, say you want to strengthen your core, right? So it's like, okay, my TC is here, all of my main loot is in this room. Say I've got some boxes that you just want to kind of, place around. Doesn't need to be pretty, just... But say everything is in this square, right? And say you even go so far as to do something like this, and this. Okay, boom. Then you would add a key lock. Boom. So if anybody does follow you in, they would still have to get through this door as well. You can do things like that, okay? But say this is the case, right? That means this room is now way more valuable than this room, where you might have a furnace or your workbench or something, okay? So, to protect this room, because that's the other thing I forgot to explain. Whoever has control of the TC has control of the base. That doesn't mean that they have access to your locks. Your locks are still locked. Like I said, if somebody gets in, it doesn't mean that they can leave through the doors unless they have access to your codes or your keys, okay? But say somebody comes in, destroys your tool cupboard if it's locked, makes their own tool cupboard. Now they have access to your traps. So if you try to come back thinking, haha, my shotgun trap will protect me, if they have access to a TC that they placed, your traps now work for them, okay? So protect your TC at all costs. Whoever gets the TC wins the raid, okay? So with that in mind, like, oh man, I really need to protect this so that it costs 2,000 health for them to get through. This will cost like 6 C4 or however much it costs, right? If it's 2 for this, that means that it should be about 4 to 6 for this, okay? The problem is, they can see that from the outside, and if they're like, why is that the only special wall? Oh, this must be the way inside. Okay, cool. I'll either try to go through the roof or break the floor if they notice that this is high quality metal, but this is not, because if you destroy this... Ah, shit, I fucked up. If you destroy this, then everything on top of it collapses. Okay, the thing about honeycombing is it protects what's on the outside, or it protects from view, right? So you can upgrade everything and nobody will be the wiser. Nobody will have any idea what's where. So how honeycombing would work is you would run around, doing this. Now I'm not going to finish, but you can see pretty much how this is shaping up. You would also put one here as well. Now it costs way more to get inside because you have all of this honeycombing. But then what about the ceiling? A person could stand here, let their friend jump on their head, boost up to the roof, or they have a ladder. All they would have to do is break through one of these. You can also honeycomb the roof. You would do something simple like half walls here, half wall here, and then boom, boom. You would make this stone, and then now it costs extra to go through the roof and the walls. This is the most basic protection that you can give yourself from raiders to increase the raid cost, okay? So this is the basics of how this works. Now, I say all this very firmly. You don't need the fanciest, schmanciest base, okay? Something like this will keep your stuff safe and keep you engaged in the game. However, for funsies, I am going to show you what I like to do. To save time, because you already see how this upgrading thing works, I'm just going to start everything from stone, but just know that everything always starts twig. You see, because of this server, it's all stone already. Yep, okay, that needs to face that way. Then I'm going to do this and this. Throw up the walls. Ah, shit. This wall needs to face this way. Boom, boom, boom. Put a wall here. Nope, not yet. Okay, now I can't really do this build until I have a furnace. Which furnace? Where do we have? Where's the furnace? There it is. Okay. I come down here. Add this. Add the furnace. Now this furnace I can use to smelt my metal, my sulfur. Sulfur becomes gunpowder. Metal becomes upgrades and also ammo and stuff like that. I can use the furnace to jump back up. Okay, so from there what I would do, add the door frame. That allows me to add this wall, which faces outwards. Now, I'm going to make sheet metal doors just for simplicity, but ultimately you want to wind up with garage doors. Garage doors cost more to get through than sheet metal doors. Okay, so for this I'll make it sheet metal. This can swing this way. This will swing this way. And I will get some garage doors here. Now the reason garage doors are lovely is that because, as you can tell, these doors add this little gap right here, so it prohibits you from getting around as smoothly. You also see when this door swings open, it's actually in your way. Garage doors not only cost more to get through for raiders, but they're also minimalist so that you can feel more comfortable when you're trying to get around. If this was a door that swung in or out in this tiny room, you have to like open the door again just to climb up here because of the way that the game works. Okay, so garage doors are incredible for a multitude of reasons. Now let's move on. Get rid of that. Okay. Huh? I thought something terrible happened. Get out of here. Okay. Now, by the way, the other thing to keep in mind, now I did not build a TC just for shits and giggles. I'll go ahead and do that now. Put down the TC. Understand that it's supposed to be locked. TC for me would go right in this corner. Nice and snug. Right here. Okay. Put down the lock. Boom. Okay. Now the thing about a TC, right, if something was built, like say you make a mistake, say you accidentally upgrade something, whatever have you, say you build something, within 10 minutes, this option is available. After 10 minutes pass, you have to destroy whatever mistakes you made the hard way, like any other raider would have to. Okay, so keep that in mind. Now I was down here. I would add a garage door or sheet metal, doesn't matter. Whatever you have access to. Continue on. This goes here. personally like metal shop fronts because it allows you to see what's going on safely, okay? And if you did want to trade, say somebody comes up, they're naked, they're like, hey man, do you have any stone? I'll give you this, I don't know, whatever I found. And you're like, sure, whatever. You can trade with them, right? So this is what I have. Boop, I put this in there. They'd give me what they want, and then I would hit vend, and then we can trade that way. Totally safe, never have to go outside, don't have to trust anybody. Shop fronts are great, okay? Moving on. This here, this here. Da-da-da. Okay, now on paper I would probably do this to section this off, put a garage door here so that way if anybody does follow me in, they can't get into whatever the fuck I decide to put back here or up here, which is where I put my research table and my desk. I mean, research table, repair table, you know, whatever. Okay, moving on. The reason this room exists is so that I can have one of these inside without having to go outside. This melts down crude oil, which turns into low-grade fuel, which you use to fly, make furnaces, a great number of things. Low-grade is an important resource. So at this point in time, I have a couple of options, okay? I can either honeycomb, because this right here is where my TC is, okay? Remember, most important resource. So I can either honeycomb now, or I can continue to build this out, which is actually what I'm going to do. Put a wall here, facing that way. I'm going to put a half wall here, a half height floor, and then I'm going to demolish this. I can put some loot boxes under here. Now realistically, you do this as you go. This isn't something that you do all at once, okay? So I would have honeycombed first if this was a real server. It's not, so I can take a couple of liberties. Put a garage door here, lock it, and this is my roof access. Okay, now I come up here and I can do whatever I need to. Obviously this is another set of loot rooms that I can have. Now I'm gonna go ahead and start honeycombing. Whoa. Rotate. There you go. Hard side facing out. Obviously you can't fly in normal servers, so you want to make sure that you do everything properly the first go around. Boom. Now my core is protected with honeycomb. Okay, so moving on. Now we're up here, so what do I do now is bring the elevator up one more level. Let's see, you want the door to be facing the same way, because if the door is facing this way, it just makes it easier for raiders to do what they want to do. Okay, and this should be good. Put another door frame on, garage door. Boom, now you have roof access, okay? Now, what I do for my third floor is I come all the way down. I want to say here, here's a door frame, and this is my I could put a wall frame here for another metal shop front if I wanted to, just so I can see out before I go out the door in case something terrible has happened. But this is what I would use for my helipad, okay? Now here, is my elevator, okay? So I'm gonna put a ceiling on the rest of this. Boom, okay. I'm gonna come out here, finish this. Half walls all around. Whoa. Okay, cool. Boom. Now I have a spot where my helicopter can land peacefully, okay? Come back down here. And for stability, which the thing about stability, see how this is 25% stable? You want your stability to be as high as possible, okay? So the way that we can fix that is with door frames. I'll put these here. And now I'll put our wall frames. Whatever. Now when I come back up here to look at the stability, see how it's 75 instead of 25 now? Pretty good, right? Not bad. And the base is starting to look pretty mean. So up here, let's see, I want the door to face this way. So that there, that there, there, here. Okay. Now, the whole point of this is for a defense floor, okay? So what I'm going to do here is, let's see. Now you can see it should look like a biker's chopper symbol, right? This is my defense floor. So how this will work is I will put windows all around. Followed by door frames here. Even though there's a gap, you can still walk safely as long as you don't try to walk out the far way. I mean, even then you're still safe, but you run the risk of not being safe. So, you know, just keep in mind, as long as you run within reasonable distance of the gap, you don't even have to worry about jumping or anything like that. The whole point of these is, let me see if I can find it. Now you would put a lock on these so that they cannot be opened or closed. The whole point is to leave them open, okay? Because if a raider was to put ladders or whatever, however they got up here, they can get into this gap. Now as you saw, I'm flying, but you can get into this gap. With the door open, that blocks off this pathway, okay? They can't get in, they can't get over once it's roofed off, so that's why you want these doors to be here and swing outwards, just like this. Okay, put on the roof. I messed up. Let's see. Let's see what I'm missing here. Ah, okay. Okay, no big deal. Just gotta remember to do it the right way first. Yep, okay. Just like that. Boom. And we're done, son. Now on paper, what I would do is I would put windows in. Me personally, I like these and these. So I put these over my windows on the right side, please. There you go. So that way I have a floor to shoot out of. This way, options for this. Now you can use whatever windows you want, except just don't use the wooden window bars. You can poke those out with a spear. A lot of players like to use these because they're really strong, but the problem is you have to pick them up every time. And then you have to repair them. Right? But to shoot out of them, you have to pick them up. But then there's no protection, so if something goes wrong, you die, a player can get through. See how I'm in? So, they look pretty, especially all around, but I don't particularly like these for this type of thing, so that's why I use these, okay? You can shoot out of them. You know, I can't see the floor this way, that's why I've got these. I can see way lower. You know what I mean? You have different options, right? This is how I would take on helicopter. This is called a Heli Tower, okay? So you can take on helicopter. Helicopter will fly back, forth, back, forth. You can upgrade, beef up this floor however you want to, but this is my defense floor. Now, technically, if I wanted to, I could destroy this if I have a ladder hatch and, you know, put a ladder hatch up there, but let's just go back down to the bottom for now. Okay, so what I would do here, and I would have done this way sooner. Yes, there is a lot to this, I'm afraid. Now I can add a wall frame here. Now you see there's these wall frames. What I would do is put a garage door here, here, and here. So that way my loot rooms are blocked off. So I put my boxes here. You can fit 5 boxes down here. 1, and you want to make sure that they're placed pretty properly. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm only going to do this once. And the center one should fit right here. Cool. Now what I would do here is add some barbecues, okay? Now you see how this is blue? This is good, because that means it doesn't interfere with the door. You can't even tell they're there. So I'd add more barbecues going down. You can do it this way, it's totally up to you. I like doing it this way, so that I can still crouch, and I can get to the barbecue, and the small box behind, and the box behind it. Okay, so you'd add them going down. Now the reason I've got so many barbecues is because you can put anything in them, okay? It doesn't just have to be for food. Then you can actually grab some small boxes. Let's see if I can find them. And place them underneath. Now if you do this to all of them, it makes it nearly so much more difficult. So much more difficult. I would have put the boxes down first. I wasn't sure that I was going to do it, but it makes it so much more difficult to get to the boxes. But let's just put this in this box so that you can see I can still get to the corner box and still access this. Then there's a small box here, the barbecues. I would do the same thing up top, the same exact thing that I did down here, I would do up top. And that's the baseline. I could show you how I fill it out, the rest of it, but there's just no point wasting your time like that. The last thing that I will do, though, is show you what a bunker is, okay? This is a bunker. This whole base is a bunker base. Now, for this, I'll have to do this. Then I can demolish this. This half wall stays right here, okay? Now, how it works is I would need a ladder. Construction, a ladder. Okay. I'd put a half wall. No, yeah, half wall here. Triangle here. Upgrade them. Okay, so how this works, I'm going to put this ladder right as high as I can. Now, if I wanted to, I could wall this off right here. This way. Boom. Okay, just like that. Now, I have my way up and down. Okay, boom, just like that. Now, how a bunker works, right? It's just like this. So, I would empty my inventory, just like this, okay? Boom. Take what I need, the stone and the wood. Okay? Only what I need to seal the bunker, okay? So I'm going to come this way. I'm going to build a half wall to fix this here. Make sure the hard side is facing me. And that's important so that the soft side is facing inside. Now I would have a sleeping bag in here. Just like this. Make sure it's out of the way of the door. Just like that, right? Soft side's facing me. Oh, too far. Okay. Now how a bunker works. So let's say, for example, I've been upgrading, okay? Boom. So that's high quality metal. Everything else is what it's supposed to be. This takes some finesse. Okay, got it. So, now I would upgrade this to the same grade as this, okay? This doesn't look armored, but it is. You can tell it's different than the stone, okay? It's high quality metal just like this wall is. Now, what this means is I now no longer have a way back in that room, right? So I would have to press F1, which will bring me here, type in kill, or I guess they've added a new suicide feature now, which is useful. I'm just going to fly down there. That's why you only take what you need, right? You would respawn on your sleeping bag and log off for the night, okay? The next time that you log on, say you came home from work or what the fuck ever, what you would do then, tools, right? With whatever you have, say you have a hatchet, right? Break this twig wall. And this triangle gets destroyed as well. Okay, this triangle cannot exist without this wall here to support it. You can upgrade this to wood, but never upgrade it anything past wood, because as you see, you need to be able to easily destroy it from this side. This is what's a bunker. This is what makes a bunker a bunker. Okay, past that, all I would do is some fun upgrades. Now on paper, what you would have to do is empty whatever to get back at those two back walls. Either up top or down bottom, it doesn't really matter. These, you don't have to really worry about the ceiling tiles. These two walls here, and even though my main room is now all armored from the outside, nobody has any idea, okay, what the grade is. You might be able to see the base and think, oh, well, that's definitely the core, you know, experienced players anyway. That's where their shit is. But you won't know what grade it is until you start raiding. So say you blow through this wall, and then you're like, ah, shit, it's armored. I know I don't have enough C4 for that. Guess I lost this raid by default. See what I mean? So anyway, I come up here. Oh my god, no. And I would upgrade these two tiles, right? Because right below this is right here, okay? So I'd upgrade these two tiles just like that, okay? And then you'd continue with your upgrades. Not everything has to be HQM. It's really hard to maintain. So you want to upgrade the best, most important places to, sheet metal. Okay. I'd make these high quality metal because of the way that you can get to them from the outside. And etc, etc. I'm going to stop here because I'll just wind up doing this whole thing, but this is just a small glimpse of what goes into building the base that I generally make for the size team that I normally have, okay? Like you see, I have a Heli Tower here, and I would obviously, go around and upgrade everything as I go. Just some simple, basic shit like that. Um, but yeah, so that's the baseline. This is what goes into building the base. You never have to build this complex, but this is just because I enjoy doing it. Alright, TTFL.